crikey, Martin. Oh, look. I have to say on camera that you picked up the cards and I'd shuffled them already. They were all split. They weren't major and minor. They were all split because they'd been used steadily last week for various people, both here and abroad. But now we've got another major. But this is a glorious one. You know, it's what we want opposite the tower because it's the card of the sun. Okay, so, you know, it's just rather crazy really, all of this extraordinary stuff. But it so fits in with your life at the moment. Honestly, sweetie.
I've been a good boy, you know.
Yeah.
You know I'm a bit naughty, not like that, but I'm on this straight and narrow road, and it ain't. And I've sacrificed everything for it as well.
I know.
You know,
I know. Well, that's what a
fun.
magician has to do. A magician has to be unusual, strange.
I've got to be on my own because no distractions. I'm scared. Not even women. Not even women. I don't need them anymore. Don't mean that bad, but that way. But I'm not even urging them.
Well,
sorry, we're going off the cards.
No, you're not going. No, you're actually making sense because. Look, you know, if we go back to Joan of Arc, I'm not suggesting you're, you know, Joan of Arc, but if you go back to her, this lady had to become abnormal to her friends and her family. She had to become that because that's how they perceived her. To get her message across, which she saw as words from God, she had to go against what was really her upbringing, everything. And people who move frontiers, who create and pass frontiers, most of them are strange, most of them are odd. They're odd in the sense that they move to their tune, they move to their music. I'm odd, you know, I'm odd. I can go back to the whole of the 80s and talk to, you know, watching my mother who died, you know, I could go to things like that because that's what I do. That's part of what I do. I am a spiritual midwife, which means not only helping other people, but helping myself. And this is why I write about angels, a becoming angel, because I believe that's what we are. And there's no rightness or wrongness or fairness about it. There's no fairness about Syria, as there is no fairness about California. Nobody can understand it.
No.
Nobody can understand why animals in their thousands and thousands, and birds and worms and people died and dying. Nobody can understand that. You can only do what you do within the framework of who you are. And if you are a magician, then be glad of it. Be glad of it. And if you're doing what the sun is doing, which is shining and bringing warmth, if we get back to ordinary life, if it's possible with all this, this becomes success, really. The tarot has a funny, strange idea of success, a very good idea of success, when they talk in terms of coins, which is a monetary units that they use. They refer to success of the soul, although they might be hanging up 9 coins, which mean, you know, buying land or acquiring land or making land or getting further, or the 8 of coins, which is seen as apprenticeship that has come good. All of these things, the 10 of coins, which becomes benefits, wills, charities, all stuff like that. In the tarot's honest to God opinion, they see that success as having to equate or chime with the soul. So if what you do makes you miserable, if you can have millions, it's of no use to you. The success has to be here. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So along all of this dramatic shaking of your world and shaking of what's going on, and no one should minimise insomnia. Insomnia drives people crazy. Travel. Zum, 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 zum. This is the 8 of Wands.
Oh, wow.
Arrows. Phones. It's movement. The movement of talent. The movement of creativity. The speed. It's actually called, if you look at it,
Swiftness.
Swiftness.
I
The
like
swiftness, the swiftness, the swiftness of sound, the swiftness of words. Words are so important. Whoever does this thing. If you listen to what people are actually telling you about how they are alone and awake at night and their legs are aching and their heads are aching and they don't know what to do, and they get up and they get down and they try and maybe paddle their legs. I know one lady who paddles her legs thinking that it might tire her out, and then she'll get a little bit of sleep and then she's awake again. And it's just, one other lady used to come to me, Mary. She had insomnia night after night after night. And then the weirdest thing happened. We thought about trying healing, you know. So she came, and it was so strange, so strange. She sat in that chair, and we talked, we did whatever, and then we did the hands-on thing. And all in the middle of this, she kind of jumped, and she said later that though she knew where my hands were, she felt a hand come and push against her heart, another hand lean against her heart, as if to say, there. She said it was she just wept. I wept with her. This extraordinary thing of comfort, seeking comfort. That's really what the tarot and all of these things are about. It's what you know, the glass ball and the stones and all the bits and pieces. It's of trying to find a way through the mass. Yeah. This place is called Nearest and Dearest as well, and Hearth and Home. So this becomes changes of home, changes of domicile, of trying to find different addresses. It's also reconnection with early family. Find out where your people are. See if they're okay. See if they're well. What does that word say?
It says victory.
Victory. Okay. So, what does if someone is victorious, what has gone before? It sounds like a battle. You know, victory implies that before it there was a battle, doesn't it? Yeah. So if what they're saying to you in your hopes is this word, you know, victory, you want more than success. It's not about success at all. It's a victory. It's a triumph. It's validation. It's of saying, there you are. I told you I could do it.
Now you got it. Told you I could do it.
I told you I could do it. And you're not actually, you may be saying it to the world, you're actually saying it to yourself, and you're saying it to the big fella. You're saying it to God. I told you I could do it. It's a wonderful card. Sixes, if I were of the Wayne kind and believed in the tree of life, 6 represents the Christ Centre, which is a holy, holy, holy place, and where wonderful things happen, where we meet the figures, the blessed ones. So the victory is right. It is something that allows you. It can be money, whatever you judge it by. It can be your name up on lights. It can be just one chap saying, whatever represents for you, it will be that momentary, wonderful sense of achievement. Okay. And justice.
Oh my God. Oh, how could it finish with that?
Yeah. So look, what have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major tarot. And all we wanted was 10, and we've got 7. 7 of these big boys, which make life quite difficult, but also quite wonderful. Because the last card is justice. So, if you think about it, winning a battle, knowing you've won it, being able to understand you, and then this great big wonderful card of justice saying other things really. Justice, people brought to right, but it implies another battle being picked up as well, and a good one too, but it implies battles around law and about things that purport to be legal. And we're back again to this idea of, you know, doctors who aren't accredited, who aren't professional, people who aren't professional. But if you get into this battle, if you battle against the law, what purports to be the law, the police, etc., what's right or wrong, then you've got a major thing going on. Because once you rattle or appear to tiptoe to the edge of something as big as that, then you will need God to protect you.
Oh, I have absolutely no doubt. I mean, a few weeks ago, I tried to do justice, and I weren't big enough or strong enough. And I tell you what, I've learnt my lesson.
Well, it's not gone away.
Still did what I had to
it's
do,
not gone away. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's up there. It's up there. And usually when these cards don't come unaided. They don't say, "Oh my God, my God, my God, my God." They don't say you are alone in this. You are alone in this. They just point out the size of what this is, the size of the role that you've taken on. Over time, I've changed my mind again and again about the idea of past lives. I've more and more begun to think that there's actually no such thing. There's just one conglomerate of multiple lives. So the past are the idea of linear time, the Egyptians and whatever, and of inhabiting one in order to get to here, to here, to here. I kind of think differently about it. When I'm like 30, maybe 40 years ago, I would be convinced that I remember thinking in terms of a witch, and thinking, I wonder if I was ever a witch. And of going to bed that night, and of being woken up by my teacher, and a placard being held up with all these names, Agnes, somebody or other, something, and dates, or 16th, and every one of those poor devils was drowned, or you know. And I thought, oh well, I don't think I'll bother then. You know, that's the thing about asking. You know, if you ask, you will receive, you will get.